Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to One Mic, One Wheel, the show where we talk all things motorsport and sim racing related. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode with Owen White, my commentary partner from ILR, giving his opinion on what his favourite moments from that league were and where he sees himself going in the future. We're keeping on the theme of league racing drivers now, and also memes within the community. We're moving on to this now. We have the Tik Toker himself. It's VSR Odemz, otherwise known as Patrician Marqueses, whatever his bloody name is. He changes it every 5 minutes on Twitter. But Odemz, you're very, very welcome to the show. Very, very happy to have you on.
Thanks. Happy to be on. This series has been pretty interesting and exciting to listen to weekly, so it's good to be a part of it.
So, how did you get into motorsport at the beginning when you were very young?
Same way I got into football. My mom, when I was about 5 years old, she was just watching it, and I believe it was the 2003 Brazilian Grand Prix, and that Grand Prix was crazy. Like so many retirements because there was like a water drainage leak in turn 3. So like so many cars just spun in the same place. It was an insane race. And after that, I just loved Formula One. She was a Michael Schumacher fan. So I became a Michael Schumacher fan. And yeah, that's how I got into Formula One.
And then, how did you get started in the virtual side of racing, the league racing side?
The league racing side. Well, I got started in the gaming side of it, at least in around 2000, when I was about 7 or 6. I got F104 on the PS2, played that game for hours, so long. Um, then F106, and then eventually I got F1 2012 on the Xbox, and I used to just play that online a few times. Then I didn't have any way means because my Xbox broke, so I didn't have any means of playing anything until 2015 came out, and I got a PS4. So a few online races in that, and I just thought, why not sign up and join a league? So I looked on the Codemasters forums, saw F1 TS Hub, which is now One Hub, joined that league, and the rest is history.
And of course, you progressed in your driving as well. You've got quite quick. And of course, you're now part of VSR. What made you decide to join the team?
Well, I got an offer from Jam, and Lewis, who was at VSR at the time, who's now not at VSR. Won't delve into that snake. But I got an offer, and then he was like adamant in getting me to join. He was like, "Oh, please join, please join." And I was like, I didn't really know what an esports team would offer, so I kind of was thinking about it, but then I just thought, why not? So I joined it, and I think it was worth it because I've met some good people. I've learned some new techniques, so I think it definitely was worth it, for sure.
And of course, you mentioned One Hub there. You've done your stints in the commentary box as well. So, do you actually prefer the racing side, or do you actually prefer the commentating side sometimes?
Now I prefer racing. Racing will always be what I prefer. Commentary, that's nice to do, but there's times where, as in same in racing, but there's times in commentary where just nothing happens, and it's like I've actually fallen asleep during commentary once, like a power nap, like a 5 minute power nap. So yeah, I do prefer the racing side, but I like the commentary too.
And this is one of the questions from the community. What's been your favorite league racing moment from any of the races you've competed in over the seasons?
Hmm, favorite I have a lot, but uh, one of my favorite, one of my funniest for sure was in ERL. It was called ARL back then, but ERL now. Back on F120, I believe I was in third place, and Jake was in first. Jake Davies, I'm not sure if you know him, but he was in first, and we were like, just it was a safety car, so we were all just sort of weaving around, warming up our tires. He kind of gets alongside the safety car, and the safety car just pelts him into the wall, just turns fully across him, sends him into the wall. I've never laughed so much during a league race in my entire life. It was so good. Um, After that, I mean, one of the most recent ones obviously is my win in One Hub in Abu Dhabi,
Uh,
won by just over a tenth and a half.
that was a very popular win, I'll tell you.
Very controversial, I would say. More controversial than popular.
Mm, won't delve any further into that, but going another question from the community. This is kind of on the opposite spectrum of things. What would you consider to be your greatest bottle of all time?
Greatest bottle. I've had a lot of bottles. It's hard to delve through them. I mean, just yesterday I had a league race where I thoroughly bottled. So, you know, my I'd say my first ever biggest bottle would be back in F1 2015, again in one hub. Um, not so shameless plug. Uh, F1 2015 in Abu Dhabi, where I had so much pace. I literally spun twice, but I had so much pace that I was still with a chance at the win, and I had a chance to overtake the leader. Kind of fluffed it, spun again, finished third. That was my first ever big bottle moment. And then after that, after F1 2016 was probably my peak, so I didn't really bottle in that game. I was usually quite good, but F1 2017, yeah, a lot of bottles there, like too many to count. Just so many. Usually it would happen if I was like uh near McSended. McSended is one of another VSR driver. I raced him in mainly PRL. That's where I met him, PRL in American League. And there was many times where I was just so wanting to beat him that I just pushed it too hard. I can remember Spain, Canada for one, Bahrain. I would just push it too hard, crash, slam into the wall, just from the sheer sight of him. I would just lose all composure and crash. So that's another big bottle. And then, as I was saying yesterday, I was leading the race in ERL, um, and just threw it away, completely threw it away.
And over the seasons, who would you say has been your biggest rival?
Biggest rival, huh? No, I want to say just sheer terms of longevity, whatever that word is. I'll probably say Cliffy. I mean, I've known Cliffy for a, a while. It's kind of weird how long I've known him. Like 2015, 2016, yeah, 2016. It's like 3 years now. I've raced him on every game, 15, 16, 17, 18. And we've been in one hub, ERL, um, what else? VRC, SSR, PSGL, just so many leagues I've been in the same as him. So I would say he's just my biggest rival in terms of just how many times I've seen his bloody mug over the past few years. But rival. I'm not consistent enough to have someone that I always challenge. So I would say either him or maybe extend it. But he always beats me, so I wouldn't really call that a rivalry.
Now let's move on to a more recent thing that the community absolutely adores you for. It's those wonderful TikToks. How do you handle the fame of that? It must take a lot out of you.
I mean, they say don't let it get to your head, but what can I say? I'm a megastar. Uh, I wake up every day with just women throwing themselves at me and I get autographs. But yeah, it was a nice little ride. Although my Twitter account has been capitulated,
Hmm.
so it'll be a while until I post another TikTok. I think until I can maybe try and get that back. But yeah, I don't know how. Well, I do know how I got into it, but it's crazy the way people just sort of like it so much. I got a few follows. I got a follow from TRL Martin. Got a few likes from Ben, Limitless, all these big people in the community, which I was shocked about with my crappy little Android phone. Weird videos.
And how do you find the F1 and the league racing community as a whole?
An absolute mess, but I love it. Especially the league racing community. The F1 community, I don't really like. I don't like anyone when we start talking about F1 because even today, like I don't like Hamilton, but the amount of people that are making me like Hamilton is annoying the hell out of me. Because just anything he does now is just such a problem, especially for Ferrari fans. It becomes such a problem. And now I'm finding myself not rooting, but like defending Hamilton, which is weird. I don't like it. But yeah, I think the F1 community is just so fickle. Like the amount of like decisive takes people make after one race. Like after one race, they're like, this is what this is. This is how everything has been from now on. And then it just changes on its head the next race, and opinions just change every single time. It's just very fickle. But it's one of those things where you spend all your time moaning about it, but you wouldn't really have it any other way. You're a part of it, and it's fine. You just deal with it.
Yeah. And I know not too long ago you got quite badly sick. Do you
Mm.
think that the league racing community may have helped you through that with all the banter and all of that?
Yeah, definitely. Because I moved to America. I lived in Ireland for like 14 years, but I moved to America and haven't really made any close friends. The time I did make some close friends, I had to move again to a different part.
Mm,
So besides my aunt and my uncle and my cousin a few times, no one really visited me. And even then, they like barely visited because they're really busy.
mm.
So it was nice, talking to everyone in the community, with all the well wishers, all the support. It was very nice, that's for sure.
And keeping on the topic of friends, who would you consider to be a friend through the community?
I have a lot. I would say my biggest friends, um, probably the people I usually, pretty much every day actually at this point, talk to, which is like Francis, Blizzard, Lambo, Squeezy. Um, yeah, those I always. I guess I'll include Ollie. Why not? Ollie. I'm always hanging out with those guys. Obviously, there's people I've known for a while now, is like Nick, uh, Cliffy, Leo, who's sort of disappeared out of the league racing community, which is a shame. But yeah, people I've known for quite a while. I would say they're pretty big friends. Oh, Josh, I would say Josh McSendit. All the VSR guys. I don't want to leave anyone out.
Yeah, you've got quite the following. And finally, where do you see yourself being in about, let's say, 5 years' time?
Homeless. I think no. No. Um. Well, hopefully I would have my own place by then, and hopefully by then I would have a bit more room to maneuver, a bit more freedom. I don't think I'll be anything really grand because my ideal life is just to work to just fund my own hobby, which is pretty much just gaming. So I don't expect anything extravagant. But have my own place, decent paying job, I'll be happy.
There is actually one question I did negate to leave out that I found in my notepad. This one was asked by the one and only Big C. How does it feel to have no relevant league racing titles?
Wow. Well, unfortunately, we can't all be seven-time PSGL F1 champions like Fat Connor. He's such a prestigious person that no matter what he says, I can't really fight to it. I have two championships in TCR, an American-based league, and T. But what can I say? I'm just I'm really the one time I could have won a championship was one hub in season 9. I'm not gonna stop plugging. Um, I was pretty much one of the quickest drivers on the grid. Won the first race by like 20 seconds. Then my account got banned, my PS account, and my game was bought using that account. So outwon that title hope. But after that, ever since I moved to the pad, I have not, really had a wink of winning a championship on anything, major. Because you have aliens. In 17, I had Lewis, who just was insane, and now there's Blizzard, who's even more insane. So as long as I'm anywhere near around these people, I don't think I'm gonna win a championship for quite a while.
And on that rather resounding bombshell, I think it's time we round it
No,
out
good
here.
question.
Odemz, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the best for your league racing future and the future of your own self.
Thank you. Thanks you too.
So that has been episode number 9 of One Mic, One Wheel. Join us next time when we talk to another member of the sim racing community about their journey through esports and where they see themselves in future years. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time for episode 10. Thank you, and goodbye.